Welcome to a Thursday edition of AutoWeek TV. Let's get started today by sending birthday wishes to two-time Indy 500 winner Dario Franchitti, who turns 38 today. Rain has kept Dario in the garage this week, but we bet he'll be in the thick of the hunt for the Indy pole position this weekend. Now, here's what's going on in the auto world. This would make a great birthday present. New York property developer Peter Calicow is getting a one-of-a-kind Ferrari Super America 45. Calicow commissioned the car to commemorate the 45th anniversary of his first Ferrari purchase, which was a second-hand 400 Super America convertible. The Super America 45 is based on a Ferrari 599, but it has a cool one-piece carbon fiber roof and a glass rear window. The roof and windows swivel and stow under the trunk lid. Ferrari says the Super America 45 is a one-shot deal, but we might see that roof system on a future 599. About 4,000 buyers of the all-wheel drive version of the Nissan Juke are getting $400 back from Nissan. Why? Because the literature for the all-wheel drive Juke said it had a 13-gallon fuel tank, but actually the all-wheel drive Juke's tank only holds 11.8 gallons. Nissan has sent owners a letter pointing out the goof, an apology, and a $400 check. If the owner's really ticked off, Nissan says it will buy the car back. The folks that build the Chevy Volt are about to get a nice break. GM on Wednesday said that it will close the Detroit plant that builds the Volt for 4 weeks in June so it can make a few upgrades. The changes will let GM boost production of the Volt when the line starts running again in July. GM hopes to build 16,000 Volts this year and see that jump to 60,000 next year. But it's a warning to dealers that supplies will be even tighter while the factory is down. Finally for today, we've been honoring the 50th anniversary of the Jaguar E-Type at AutoWeek.com this week. Editorial Director Dutch Mandel chatted with Jaguar Design Chief Ian Callum about the E-Type. Let's watch.
Ian, we are about the same age. Okay, you might be a little older, but this car really influenced a lot of people. I mean, this car epitomized everything.
It came out in the 60s, and it was in England. It was swinging England, you know. It was all happening, and I think what it was, it just showed a sense of optimism and just a new way of doing things. It's very dramatic. Hugely dramatic.
I mean, if you can't get laid in this car, you can't get laid, right? I mean,
I wouldn't know.
well, not actually in the car, but I mean, it is dramatic and it's lithe and it's sexy, and you have to refer to it as a she.
You do.
I mean,
she's gorgeous.
But she is gorgeous. Now, as design director, growing up as a kid. How did this car affect you as a designer?
I wanted to be a car designer, but when I saw this, I knew I had to be a car designer, because if car designers can produce stuff like this, that's what I wanted to be part of. And that was a very, very modern car, remember. This was the future. For me, the future had landed.
That's cool.
It was there.
And what about this car? Just some highlights. So when you take a look at the design, what are the kinds of things that just turn you on as a designer?
Well, the first thing is just the overall proportion of the car. The balance of the front, this little cabinet at the back, very dramatic, very dramatic. The surfaces are very pure. You know that Malcolm Sayer, who designed this car, was an aerodynamicist.
Oh,
and all the sections are done by radiuses and hyperbolae. Very, very pure and very disciplined, and that's why it's so beautiful. There's nothing on here that doesn't need to be there.
Well,
it's brilliant.
You took this design and you carried it over to something a little bit more modern.
Yeah.
Is that not correct?
We tried. Yeah. Okay.
Now, obviously, the radiuses are there and the sexiness is there. Tell me a little bit more about why and how this car influenced this car.
Well, the sense of purity and the sense of integrity of this car here was very important, very influential in what we did to this one. The proportions are slightly different because the layout is actually fundamentally different. You know, the cabin is a little longer. It's actually a 4-seater 2+2. But the main emphasis of proportion, pure line, and pure surfaces are all in this car, the same as they are in this. And that's really what came through at the other end. And if you actually look at the car, I mean, there's specifics, like the feature line through the side of the car has got a little bit of that Coke bottle feel about it. It's very sexy.
Yeah.
So is the E-Type.
Zaftig, almost. A little bit. A little bit, yeah. Voluptuous, definitely.
It's voluptuous, and it's got muscle about it. And if you look at the rear three-quarter of the E-Type, the way the cabin sits between the hips, and it comes out to meet the wheels, it's exactly what this car does.
Well, I can't thank you enough for fans of E-Types, fans of Jags everywhere, for continuing the tradition of bringing us emotion and passion and sex in our automobiles.
Thank you.
No worries.
Thanks, Dutch. The E-Type looks as sexy today as it did 50 years ago. Get ready for a big racing weekend. We've got qualifying at Indy, NASCAR's All-Star Race in Charlotte, and Formula One in Spain. We'll have all the details at AutoWeek.com, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Now get out there and enjoy the drive.
Thanks for watching today's edition of AutoWeek TV. Be sure to catch all the latest car enthusiast news on AutoWeek.com, in AutoWeek magazine, and in AutoWeek's iPad edition.